Santa Ana city officials are sounding the alarm as the city's budget is set to take a massive hit, which leaders say could mean cuts to some programs. I'm Luis Avila live in Santa Ana. I'll have that story coming up.
With SVA, it's really about the veterans. It is about making sure veterans are taken care of from the moment they exit the military through the time they're done with school.
Chapman student veterans take to Capitol Hill, and Chapman News is there. We'll show you what they told Congress.
Just 24 hours after an FAA audit revealed several problems with production at Boeing, the whistleblower who first raised safety concerns has been found dead. The latest on that story, plus your weather and sports, coming up.
From Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of Chapman News. I'm Kevin Barr.
And I'm Kyle Carr. Santa Ana officials are warning of a looming financial crisis for the city.
Chapman News reporter Luis Avila is live in Santa Ana. Luis, I understand the problem is stemming from an expected drop in sales tax.
That's right, Kevin. Santa Ana's sales tax will drop in just a few years, 2029 to be exact. And while that might be good news for city taxpayers, the impact to city services is already raising concern among city officials here at City Hall just behind me. I spoke with city council members to find out why that is and what's being discussed to lessen its effects. For the last few years, Santa Ana local government has focused on a number of civic improvements, including road maintenance and park upgrades. These projects have been funded by Measure X, a sales tax increase that was approved by city voters in 2018, but that sales tax is set to decrease from 1.5% to 1% in 2029, costing the city $30 million. That loss is putting those services in jeopardy.
It's one thing to cut a ribbon, open a new facility, but now you got to maintain it, and that costs money too.
The City Council has started discussing other ways to increase revenue. Councilmember Phil Becerra proposes increasing police presence in popular retail areas that attract a lot of shoppers, such as South Bristol. Becerra says the city needs to make sure shoppers feel safe coming to these areas, so they will spend, and the city will reap the sales tax benefits.
If we don't protect those areas, then we are going to have to ask folks to reach into their pockets.
Councilmember Benjamin Vasquez says that more than just protecting what Santa Ana already has, the city needs to do better to appeal to potential new businesses looking to move in.
If we're not known as a business-friendly city, to at least open up, why would you open up yours?
Vasquez says a revenue committee should be formed to look into possible solutions, but he also says the city is going to have to come to terms with less revenue.
Oh, there's definitely going to be cuts as it sunsets and we tighten our belts.
What isn't on the table as of now is another sales tax increase.
I think it would be disingenuous of the city to just go back to the voters and ask for more money if we're not, I guess, looking in the mirror and saying, where can we cut? Where can we manage what we want?
And city officials are looking for the public's input to determine what services they should prioritize in their budget. You can find that survey online at santa-ana.org/budget. Reporting live in Santa Ana, I'm Luis Avila for Chapman News. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Luis. Appearing before Congress today, Special Counsel Robert Hur is defending his investigation into President Biden's handling of classified documents.
Hur has been criticized by both Republicans and Democrats.
With comments about his specific recollection as to documents or a set of... But you chose a general pejorative reference to the president. You understood when you made that decision, didn't you, Mr. Hur, that you would ignite a political firestorm with that language?
Hur has defended his comments, saying, quote, politics played no part whatsoever in the investigation. Israel is moving ahead with its planned military offensive in the city of Rafah in Gaza. This comes despite calls for the ceasefire as Muslims begin their observation of the holy month of Ramadan. Amnesty International estimates there are more than 1.5 million Palestinians taking shelter in Rafah. Meanwhile, tension between the Biden administration and Israeli officials is growing. President Biden sharply criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in an interview this weekend, with Biden stating Netanyahu is, quote, hurting Israel more than helping Israel. Biden is also urging Israel to allow more aid into Gaza.
Boeing is in hot water today after the FAA released a critical audit of its production lines. In another development, the whistleblower who first raised safety concerns about the aviation giant has been found dead. The audit of Boeing 737 MAX production began after a door plug flew off an Alaska Airlines flight earlier this year. The FAA says Boeing failed 33 of the audit's 89 sections, and that 97 additional instances of alleged noncompliance were also found. In South Carolina, former Boeing employee John Barnett, who alleged management ignored his complaints about using substandard parts to build airplanes, was found dead from what police are saying a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That investigation is still ongoing.
The presidential campaigning between President Biden and former President Donald Trump continues to heat up. Democratic strategists praised the president's performance in a State of the Union speech last week after Biden verbally attacked Trump by calling him dangerous. Following the address, the Biden re-election campaign released a new ad titled "For You," the first in a new advertising campaign that focuses on the president's age.
Look, I'm not a young guy. That's no secret. But here's the deal. I understand how to get things done for the American people.
Former President Trump mocked Biden's speech on Truth Social and called him, quote, incompetent at a political rally in Georgia. Primary voters today in Georgia, Mississippi, and Washington state can clinch the Democratic nomination for President Biden, while Republican voters in those three states and Hawaii can secure the GOP nomination for Trump.
Immigration is a hot topic in the presidential race. Both President Biden and former President Donald Trump were at the border in Texas recently. Trump headed to Eagle Pass with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, while President Joe Biden visited El Paso. The president focused on the bipartisan immigration bill currently in Congress, while Trump focused on what he called Biden migrant crime. But Chapman professor Ron Steiner says voter focus is not entirely on immigration.
I think the issue of immigration ranks less highly than people think it does, in that overwhelmingly political scientists, others say it's really economics that drives people's votes.
Both Trump and Biden remain front runners for the 2024 election, with more primaries coming today.
Former President Donald Trump has reversed his stand on a controversial proposed ban of TikTok just days ahead of an expected House vote on the matter. President Biden has said if approved by Congress, he would sign legislation forcing the sale of TikTok, which is owned by a Chinese company. If the sale doesn't happen, TikTok would be banned. Several Democratic and Republican lawmakers maintained that Chinese ownership of TikTok is a threat to American national security. Former President Trump, who initially supported an unsuccessful attempt to remove the app a few years ago, says he no longer supports the ban. A co-sponsor of the bill, Republican Representative Chip Roy, disagrees with the former president.
Well, he's wrong. I mean, by the way, he had his own what executive orders and his own actions he was doing, and now now he suddenly flipped around on that. I mean, it's not the first.
The House vote on TikTok could come as early as tomorrow. You can't beat California's sunshine and beaches, but it certainly comes at a price, and it's a price many aren't willing or able to pay. The mass migration out of the state, known as the California Exodus, is nothing new, but the demographics of who is leaving is changing. Chapman News reporter Tess Martinelli has the story.
When the term California Exodus was coined in 2016, high prices, income taxes, and housing costs were some of the core reasons that California residents cited for fleeing the state. During the pandemic, emigration from California reached its peak, with U.S. Census data estimating 800,000 people moved out of the Golden State during 2020 and 2021. Chapman University professor of urban studies Joel Kotkin says that those leaving California were typically from one of two populations.
Older people, maybe living on a fixed income, maybe not comfortable with how California had changed and demographically and culturally. That was the group that was leaving, and then working class people.
Now, a new demographic is bidding California farewell, the wealthy. From Hollywood stars like Mark Wahlberg to tech moguls like Elon Musk, top earners in the state are moving their lives and companies to places like Texas, Tennessee, and Florida.
Tech jobs, professional service jobs, the kind of jobs that people are looking for are more likely to be found in other states, and increasingly, those other states are paying the same salary as in California.
California's economy relies heavily on high earners for tax dollars. According to the California governor's budget summary of 2023, those with the top 1% of income account for nearly half of the state's income tax revenue. As a result, California's economy is slowing, and legislative analysts are predicting a $65 billion deficit this year. As for how California will respond, Kotkin predicts that Governor Newsom won't try to increase the wealth tax.
You just can't keep raising the tax rate on people and expect them to stay.
Inaction from California may drive even more people out of the state, meaning the California exodus is anything but over. Tess Martinelli for Chapman News.
After weeks of pressure, Haiti's prime minister resigned today, while violence continues to escalate in the country. A gang known as the G9 and Family attacked the National Palace and set part of the ministry on fire in Haiti's capital of Port-au-Prince over the weekend. Over the past few weeks, criminal gangs have freed thousands of prisoners and attacked dozens of government buildings. The Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, has been stranded in Puerto Rico and initially resisted calls for his resignation. The United States military has beefed up security forces at the American Embassy and airlifted all non-essential staff in Port-au-Prince to safety. 3 Catholic churches in Fullerton have teamed up to launch a mini loan program to help those who are facing homelessness. The program offers 2 types of loans, one that gives the working homeless money to cover apartment move-in fees, and another that helps people pay off high interest debts so they have more money to put towards their housing. For more information, you can visit Michael Clements' miniloanprogram.com.
I'm Tegan Callie. Is it going to rain or is it going to shine? Do I personally control the weather? I don't know. Find out after the break.
When else are you ever going to see such an extraordinary panoply? There's actually over 400 objects here in the show.
Also coming up, see how a new exhibit at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana celebrates Asian artists. Stay tuned. What happened to Gavin's?
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
3, 2, 1.
It's a bit chilly this morning, but I'm hoping it will warm up later this week.
I am too, and from what I've heard, Tegan Callie can actually control the weather. So maybe he can change it up for us. Tegan, how does the weather look today?
Guys, I appreciate it, but I'm not powerful enough yet to control the weather. But I will say, I did make it a beautiful 66 degrees and partly cloudy in the beautiful city of Orange right now. Let's look nationally, though. Seattle, raining and 50 degrees, classic. San Francisco, 60 degrees and raining, also classic. Las Vegas, on the other hand, a beautiful 61 degrees and sunny. They are still recovering from quite the freak windstorm they had last week, gusts over 70 miles per hour. Phoenix, I think hottest in the country today, or one of them, 78 degrees and sunny, very nice. Denver, on the other hand, cloudy and 63. Sounds bad, but enjoy it because later this week, massive blizzard rolling through. Mostly going to hit the east side towards Boulder area, but Maine, Denver, and also the Aurora area will still see a little bit of snow. Houston, on the other hand, 77 degrees and cloudy. Minneapolis, partly cloudy, 63. Chicago, 68 and cloudy. Atlanta, much nicer at 70 degrees and sunny, although I'm sure it is humid. DC, 69 degrees and sunny. New York, 63 and sunny. Very nice up the East Coast, but what has them beat is beautiful Miami down here, which is not only a perfect 80 degrees and sunny, but it will remain like that through this week, through the weekend, and into spring break next week. I don't know about you guys, but that's where I'll be. Let's look at Orange County, though. Westminster, 68 degrees. Newport Beach, 64 degrees. It's almost beach weather, not perfect though, but I wouldn't go anyways because they're still cleaning up that oil spill. The beautiful, amazing city of Orange is at 67 degrees right now, and Irvine is at 66. Laguna Beach, even colder than Newport at 62. Mission Viejo, 64, and last but not least, San Clemente at 62 degrees. Now let's look at our 5-day Fenestra forecast. Today we're looking at cloudy skies with a high of 67 and a low of 53, but do not fret because it's going to start getting warmer with tomorrow high of 67, but partly cloudy. Now as those clouds move out of there, let's look at Thursday now. A perfect sunny and 72 degrees. Make sure to hit the beach, just not Newport or Huntington unless you want to see oil. Friday and Saturday, more of the same with perfect sunny skies and 71 degrees both days. Now, no more freak rainstorms, at least this week, but we'll see what next week has in store for us. That's all I have for you guys this week. Let's go back to our amazing anchors at the main desk.
Well, thank you, Tegan. The Biden administration announced today that it will be sending $300 million in weapons to Ukraine. This is the first aid package sent to Ukraine since December. According to the New York Times, the weapons package will include air defense systems, which officials say Ukraine desperately needs. The new aid comes as a $60 billion emergency aid bill for Ukraine has stalled in Congress.
It will be 1 year tomorrow since part of the historic Plaza Fountain in Old Town Orange was damaged. The fountain was hit by a car being pursued by police in the late hours of March 13, 2023. Since Old Town Orange is a nationally registered historic district, work performed on the fountain must meet historic rehabilitation standards set by the U.S. Secretary of the Interior. According to the CityofOrange.com website, work has been halted a few times. If new tiles are available, the city is hopeful the fountain repairs could be finished next month. Today is National Working Moms Day, acknowledging the sacrifice, dedication, and hard work of women who are juggling parenthood and work.
Joining us live in studio is Dr. Michelle Miller-Day, professor in the School of Communication here at Chapman University and an expert on mother, daughter, and family communication. Thank you for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
The first question we have is, from generation to generation, how has the perception of working moms changed?
Well, I think we know now that all moms are working moms. Okay, so all moms do a lot of work. I think that research shows that moms do about 95 hours of unpaid work each week, which is about 2.5 jobs. And then if they take employment outside of that, that adds to it. So there's a lot of labor that goes into it, emotional labor, kin labor, like maintaining kinship and managing relationships and holidays and doing all that work, as well as taking care of your kids and making sure needs are met and that sort of thing. So that's the first thing I want to say is we are more aware now that it's working moms really does include mom work that we do in the household as well. But the employment has changed over the years, right? So in the 1950s, pushing moms, pushing women hopefully back to the household, the 2.5 kids and all that. But moms are saying, nope, going to work now. We liked going to work during the war. But we had a employment rate of, I think, about 35% of moms at that time. Now we're up to about 48% of our workforce are women, and of that, 77% are working moms.
Wow. And what does the research say about the effects on a child in having a working mother?
Actually, there's some positive effects, as a matter of fact. Everybody thinks about the negative, and moms have a lot of guilt. Oh, I'm going to mess up my kids, obviously, if I'm working outside the home. But there are a lot of positive, again, research shows that for women especially, women who have had a full-time employed mother usually make about 25% more salary, higher salaries than women with stay-at-home moms. They tend to go into unconventional careers as well. So I think some of the miscommunication, unless you're a negligent parent, obviously, there are not a whole lot of long-lasting repercussions for children of working parents.
Okay. So even though more mothers are working than ever, studies still show that women in the house are still doing most of, the homemaking. So how would you recommend that mothers create in their home a more equal distribution?
Realize that you can't do everything. And I think one of the biggest things that I tell my students and I tell individuals is that you're not superhuman, you are simply human. Mm-hmm. And that it's a partnership. It's not like, here's all these people that count on me and that I have to take care of. It's, no, here are partners that I have in my family that help us function as a family. So as opposed to all the weights on your shoulders, right? What list of your responsibilities and what can you delegate, right? How can you include, and research shows that children up to, as young as 18 months can help with chores as long as you don't expect perfection, right? As long as it's developmentally appropriate, you can get people started, young children started doing chores as early as 18 months.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Michelle Miller Day, Professor of Communication here at Chapman University.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the topic of veterans and higher education was the focus recently on Capitol Hill. I followed along as 2 executive board members of the Chapman University Veterans Club traveled to Washington, D.C. to take part in the conversation. Veterans Jake Slocum and Devansh Mehta represented Chapman as the group Student Veterans of America met with congressional representatives.
We are about to go and witness the Joint Committee hearing on Veterans Affairs. We're going to learn a lot about Student Veterans of America and their policy priorities, what they hope to advocate for the next year.
Hearing the CEO of SVA, hearing his testimony in Congress yesterday, it was actually really eye-opening to see, okay, there's some real stuff going on here that needs to be addressed. Some veterans are not being maybe treated the way they should be.
The thing that stuck to me the most from SVA was that they're really trying to enhance the benefits for everybody. That's a real effort. It is about making sure veterans are taken care of from the moment they exit the military through the time they're done with school.
Jake and Devansh met with staff for California Senators LaFonza Butler and Alex Padilla and an advisor for Representative Young Kim. They discussed issues facing veterans at Chapman, including the number of staff and space dedicated to veterans on campus.
They were intent on listening. I was paying attention at times to the notes they were taking. They were taking serious notes.
It would have been pretty cool to speak directly to the senators and our representatives. We were able to speak with their staffers, their advisors, their policy advisors, which was still useful, productive, and I feel like we definitely are leaving this. We're leaving the city knowing that we actually accomplished things.
Not only was the week a time to look forward, but a time to reflect on the nation's past.
Man, I gotta tell you, it was very humbling because it was as if I'm seeing our whole nation's history in this one city.
No matter where you're from or what you do, coming to the nation's capital, walking around, seeing the monuments, taking a moment to pause and reflect about what the values of this country truly are. Freedom, individualism, and diversity, all of these great things that make America what it is and such a special place. You feel that when you're here, and it's something that that nobody would really disagree with.
Since returning from Washington, Jake and Devansh received a follow-up call from Representative Young Kim's office to schedule a Chapman campus tour for the next time she is in Orange County.
I'm Gavin Nguyen, and coming up, a new exhibit here at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana is drawing both fans of Japanese manga and comic book aficionados alike. See what the buzz is all about.
That's a wide open lane. Jacobus with the shot right between the legs. And the Panthers have taken
Chapman Lacrosse had a tough matchup against number 9 Florida Gators. I'm Joshua Feinhersh. That, plus the latest on NFL free agency, coming up next on the Best Campus Sports Show.
Adrenaline coursing through your body. And you are calling the shots. Feel the power as you control the game's narrative. From commentator to camera virtuoso, replay wizard to unyielding director. There is no better experience than being in the moment. Challenge your limits and embrace the electrifying rush that comes with the crowd's roar. You never know the epic plays you will capture and the masterpiece you could make. You could be an amateur learning on the fly or a pro wanting to expand your skills. You will always fit in. And what better place to broadcast your skills than in sports? Never knowing what is coming next and always coming across something new. Join the Chapman Sports Broadcasting Network and experience the thrill of life.
Chapman University senior Valeria Delgado says attending the State of the Union address was a, quote, surreal experience. Delgado was the guest of Orange County Congressman Lou Correa at last week's speech by President Biden at the U.S. Capitol. Each year, Correa invites a college student who is a DACA recipient, also known as Dreamers. The Obama-era program protects undocumented young people from deportation if they were brought to the U.S. as children. Delgado told the Orange County Register the DACA program has opened up many opportunities for her. She wants to study medicine and currently works at Children's Hospital of Orange County.
A new exhibit at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana is highlighting the work of Asian comic book artists. Chapman News reporter Gavin Nguyen has more.
The exhibition, Asian Comics, Evolution of an Art Form, focuses on the evolution and impact of comic books throughout Asia. Organized by the Barbican Arts Center in London, this is the first time the collection has been seen in an American museum. Japanese pop culture, including manga, or comics and graphic novels from Japan, have become increasingly popular in recent years. Paul Gravitt, the curator of the exhibition, says he hopes people will explore the art form even further.
Especially coming to California with so many different people, communities with strong connections to many countries in Asia. We want to dialogue with them and engage them, and we hope also they will bring their passion and interest for comics, their comics, into the museum.
Over 400 objects from 20 different Asian countries are featured in the exhibition, and it doesn't just stop at comic strips. It includes several 3D objects and interactive activities. Even the emergency exit signs have a comic book spin. Paul says another goal is to draw a younger demographic to the Bowers, and it's working. Ebony and Violet Crawford expressed their interest in the exhibit before heading inside.
We're just, admirers of the whole art form, and so we want to, better educate ourselves on the history of it and get better ideas of kind of its beginnings and the future.
We hope we can engage people because of the beauty of quite a lot of the artwork. There's stunning images here. And because some of the themes and subjects we think are going to surprise people. People are used to the idea of action and romance and all the big kind of genres. But as any other really rich medium, comics in Asia cover everything.
You have until September 8th to visit the exhibition yourself, but between now and then, the museum will also be putting on plenty of other events, including signings and screenings. For that info and more, you can visit bowers.org. Reporting for Chapman News here at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana, I'm Gavin Nguyen.
Now moving up the 5 to Anaheim, where the OC Vibe construction is not the only rebuilding going on.
That's right, Kevin. The Anaheim Ducks are on their own rebuilding year, and Joshua Feinhersh has the latest.
Thank you, Kyle and Kevin. I'm Joshua Feinhersh, and welcome to the Best Campus Sports Show. The Anaheim Ducks are looking to have a strong ending to the regular season in what has been a rebuilding year. The Ducks lost to the New York Islanders 6-1 on Sunday. Left winger Alex Killorn scored the lone goal for the Ducks. The Ducks' record moves to 23-38-3. They sit third to last in the Western Conference with 49 total points. The UCI men's basketball team caps off an amazing regular season. The Anteaters won the Big West regular season conference title for the second season in a row. UCI will get a bye to the Big West Conference Tournament semifinals. They will play this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If they win the conference tournament, they will receive an automatic bid to the NCAA March Madness Tournament with Selection Sunday on March 17th. The Chapman Men's Lacrosse team remains undefeated after a dominating performance versus number 9 Florida Gators. The Panthers won 16-12 this past weekend. For the Gators, attacker Ethan Gerber had 3 goals. Chapman sophomore attacker Dante Zacoboulos returned from a 3-game absence due to injury and scored 4 goals. He talked to CSPN sideline reporter Lisa Pressler about his outstanding performance.
I was trying to get back into the swing of things in the very beginning, and then once I kind of got into the flow, I was just I'm going to be aggressive, create opportunities for my team. But everybody did a good job getting good spacing, so it helped me out a lot.
The Panthers play number 5 Utah Valley this Thursday at 7 at Wilson Field. The Chapman Baseball team split a doubleheader against MIT on Saturday, winning the first game 6-4, but losing the second game 8-5. A month into their season, the team is off to an 8-5 start. Fifth-year player Kyle Osaka is leading the way at the plate, and he is our athlete of the week. Osaka leads the team with a .481 batting average and a .1215 OPS. The catcher was named Cy Hitter of the Week after a Grand Slam victory against Centenary. Osaka says his off-season training has paid off.
I've never really tried to be like a big ball hitter, trying to hit the ball out of the park.
Chapman Baseball will return to Hart Park this Thursday at 7 p.m. to take on Cortland. Thank you for watching the Best Campus Sports Show. I've been Joshua Feinrich. I hope you all enjoy your spring break and good luck on your midterms, Chapman students.
I've never really tried to be like a big ball hitter, trying to hit the ball out of the park. They just kind of happen here and there.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars.
Good job.
Now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens.
Increasingly popular, and here in Orange County, as our Emily Cho found out, you can try this art form yourself.
I'm Emily reporting for Chapman News in Huntington Beach, California, here at Mayu Silk Art, a place where you can make some fun silk art with your friends. So I'm gonna give it a try. Let's go.
My name is Star Greenwood. This is my wonderful husband, Philip Greenwood, and we are the co-founders of Mayu Silk Art. We were just looking for something we could do together. People want to try this art. I had done it originally in college, and we started our little business with the idea that it would be a pop-up kind of thing. And then we had this video go viral in 2017 that really just took us from here to there. The video had 1.7 million views on the first day.
What were you hoping for people to get out of this experience?
I knew that the art was fascinating. We didn't know where it would take us because there wasn't a precedent. There wasn't somebody else already out there doing this in the way that we do it. So we had to be open to where is this art going to take us, and that has stayed a rule of our business, but it's also a rule of the art. You don't know until you know when you're at that moment when it's perfect. You have to open yourself to the fact that life is going to throw things at you.
What has been some of your favorite designs that you've seen people do?
The one I'm seeing right now is usually my favorite, and I will honestly say that this is gorgeous. There's not really any age restrictions. We can work with artists, we can work with non-artists, we work with people that have tremors. It's great for folks who have Alzheimer's. And there's the Emily scarf. Well done. Wow. It's perfect.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
It's really easy to make an appointment. You just go to our website at www.mayusilkart.com/visit, and then you can scroll down the page and you can see all the options.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate taking the time to take me through this experience. So I highly recommend that you guys come check out Mayu Silk Art. So please. I'm Emily Cho, reporting for Chapman News.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Chapman News and on YouTube at chapmannews.tv. I'm Kevin Bora.
And I'm Kyle Carr. We'll be on spring break for the next 2 weeks. Please join us again at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, April 2nd, for another edition of Chapman News.